Alright guys, let's pick up where we left off last time. The BMW is completely disassembled and now it's time to prepare all of the parts for powder coating. That means we need to take out all of the bearings, clean the parts, chop any unwanted or unneeded brackets off the frame. I need to disassemble the brake calipers, and I also want to clean up all of these casting marks on the parts that are gonna get painted. So quite a lot to do. Let's jump right in. What I find works best for these delicate adjustments are the Scotch-Brite discs for the die grinder. But if you don't have a die grinder, you can actually also get Scotch-Brite discs for your angle grinder, which I didn't know, and they also work great. I finished grinding all of the small parts, shift lever, brake lever, the foot peg mounts for rider and passenger, and also the side stand. For the bigger parts, and especially with the heavier kind of like surface structure, I use the big disc on the angle grinder, and then for all the small areas I use the die grinder. It took quite a while, but now those are ready to be powder coated. They look amazing. So the next thing that I want to do is to remove the front studs in the handlebar clamps, because with the setup that I'm running now, those are too long and I either want to use a shorter stud or just use screws. But first we need to get those out. And for that, I just learned from my good friend Nico that in case you want to use heat to kind of like break loose a screw that is stuck in a part, the correct way is to heat up the part and then let it completely cool down again. What I always did was I would heat it up and go immediately to work, but apparently that puts too much stress on the thread. So I heated those up and now they're cold again. So let's see if that actually worked. Oh, that works perfectly. Next thing ticked off the list, I've got the studs out and recut the threads to clean them up. So those work nicely now. Now we can move on to the brake calipers. I need to disassemble those. They're gonna get rebuilt anyways. And I want to clean up those marks right here, and then the body gets painted. So let's take those apart. The calipers are done, completely disassembled. I cleaned them as well as I think they need to be cleaned. And then I also used the die grinder and cleaned up the surface. They should be ready for powder coating now, and we can move on to the steering head bearing, which still sits on the triple clamp. And then there's also a casting mark that goes all around, which I want to grind off. So let's first get the bearing off. And if you want to get more detailed tutorials on how to do all of these maintenance, repairs and stuff like that, then definitely check out the Boxer 2 Valve channel. They have 3 playlists, I think, where they go through different airhead models and show the whole rebuilding process. So you get detailed tutorials for all of the different kind of like repairs and maintenance tasks. So definitely check those out. This step scares me a little bit, because what we have to do is we have to cut the cage, then take all the rolls out, and then take a Dremel and cut into the main part of the bearing so that it cracks, and then we can lift it up. So hopefully that works without damaging anything else. So here goes nothing. All right, now with that in the vise, it's good if you have a relatively worn out cutting disc, because with the small one you can get much further in there without damaging the bottom cup. Okay, so I cut roughly like halfway through the bearing from top to bottom. You have to get a very, very tiny cutting disc, the smallest that you can get. I used just a piece of 4mm steel to grind mine down so that you can get very close to the bearing without damaging the cup too much. I actually touched it at first and then I noticed, okay, I need to get the disc smaller. So what we have to do now is use a chisel and hopefully crack the bearing all the way through. All right, that does not work yet. So what I might do is just replace the cup at the bottom and grind all the way through. I hope that is far enough in and I can break it open. I'm definitely gonna invest in a proper steering head bearing puller. I need to do some research, but if you know a brand or like a specific bearing puller, then please leave it down below. Just don't want to deal with these like improvised solutions anymore, because on the one hand, they save a lot of time and then maybe they even pay for themselves in case I would have broken something, but then I don't because I used the proper tool. Let's see if that works now, but I don't know. It looked so much easier in the video. That's the problem that you sometimes face. I think that method doesn't work for me. I don't want to destroy anything. So what I'm gonna do is I need to go to a special BMW shop anyways, because I can't disassemble the drive shaft without a special tool. I'm just gonna take the triple clamp as well, and hopefully he has a bearing puller that pulls it off easily. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna clean this up, and then if he gets it off, I can just take it to the powder coater afterwards. If not, I need to come back and, I don't know, find a way or order the bearing puller myself. So yeah, let's quickly do that. Kind of unfortunate, but that's the way it is sometimes. All right, got that one done. It's looking clean now. All the marks are gone, so that definitely makes a difference. And now we can move on to the forks. I'm just going to quickly take those apart. If you want to see how that works, I'm going to link you the video where I shortened them right up here. We're going to cover that as well in detail when I'm going to rebuild them. So I'm going to make a video about how to rebuild your forks. But now we just need to progress a little bit quicker. Now we have the bottom part that gets painted, and with that done, we can move on to removing the swing arm bearings. And for that, I got the Kruko bearing extractor puller set, and I'm very excited to use that because it will hopefully show how easy this job can be if you have the right tool. So let's see how it works. This works so good. Oh, nice. Okay, see how easy it can be? All right, on to the other side. Final step, frame. So we first have to get the bearing races out, and then I'm gonna chop off any unwanted brackets. I fortunately marked those before I took everything apart, which I think is a very crucial step, because afterwards I was looking at brackets and I was like, do I actually need that? So everything that is marked can go, the rest has to stay. Yo, that was one of the best investments I ever made. Now it's on to the brackets. All right, guys, I'm done. Everything is finished apart from the two things that I couldn't do. But apart from that, I got so much done. What a day. It is 1:30. So tomorrow I can bring everything to the powder coater. I have a big box of parts. Right here, so many parts that need to get powder coated. Leave a guess what you think this is gonna cost. I have got no idea. While everything is getting powder coated, we can focus on rebuilding the carbs and then move over to the engine, which is very exciting. If you want to check out the last video where I disassembled the BMW, then here it is. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.